Like, can you not speak on, like, my image right now? Because I'm being totally, like, spiritually interrupted. I'm like, I could go merch for merch, but, like, if it was a reason that someone said that I am getting up for somebody, I've been spiritually interrupted. I've been harassed and tormented. I've been treated like a slow person, and I'm very much not slow. Um, so supposedly, I started to like wake up because I started to see that people that somebody had started that I knew of started to approach me as if they were my ride to where I was on the way to. Constantly, where they was on the way to, I knew that it was a fail. It sounded like a fail. It looked like a fail. It was a duck. I've been continuously harassed. Last month, like I had the worst body symptoms for my monthly. Like I feel like trash. And to be honest, at this time, I feel like I'm supposed to be like in like a different fucking like ecosystem, being differently as fuck. I mean, like since a child, you know what, somebody did never understood what I was explaining. I would argue continuously that my childhood pictures was for me to be a model. That was what the fuck what I am for. She like, what's up? The person is several. Then it started with one person that I knew about that was off the hinges. It started getting into problems. I opened up a page. It was like a whole bunch of brats started coming up on my app. Just my app has been abnormal with the brat situation. With the brat situation, it was the brat situation started because they were saying about like the community Houston All-Star Week in 2013. They were talking about like, who was ops and stuff and what was the situation. They got like over beside themselves over the internet just to put out like, who is kin and who is family. So over here, this started with CPS situations. This is where it came up at the brats. The page is look.out of underscore a couple of them. And it's two brats. It's who will it be? And so this was the start of who will it be. I totally did not put in mind that a lot of those people were dealing with dads, families who are helping with hurricane survivors, Louisiana, and just, a whole bunch of other stuff. So again, it was who will it be? It came out with brats. And like, when the brats came out in 2002. And it's hard to explain because with brats, there's no name to it. You're looking for if it's the boy and the girl, are they brothers and sisters, or are they girlfriend and boyfriend? So it's a Megan doll, and she has the orange hair, and the Megan doll is her boyfriend come with, his face is covered because we're not talking about who Megan doll boyfriend is. Megan doll boyfriend is Ayana, right? Megan doll, who will it be? Is Ayana Fight's fiance. Ayana Fight, she dark skinned. Ayana Fight, and then Jatavia is on there. Jatavia is with the Megan doll. Megan doll is Madison Starr. Again, this comes from a long ways. We just finished up the contact list with Beyonce and all of them. And I started with, who all my friends group would be. I said, we don't have no problem with Sean. Because the story around my house is that my uncle walked in a wedding with Erykah Badu. He not known as a liar. He told me, myself, that he walked in a wedding with Erykah Badu. So we don't have no problem with Sean. And of course, Again, automatically that made King Combs my brother. So, right, we all the way getting gifted from Bratz, long time ago, Madison Starr, and Nico Brim. So what else came up? Again, that's whenever the people that I would go to school with, they already automatically started drifting. Like if I had started to meet Madison Starr and others, automatically they started to drift away. There was some commotion with the people getting their pictures used. I said, if you did not want your pictures used, again, there was the Tumblr app. You did not need to be on Tumblr whatsoever. You got what the fuck you wanted out of it, be on your way. This been going for a long time. So again, you gotta look out. That's how I've been needing to get on it. Mulatto is also on there, and there was DJ Bands and JT. Ayana Fight is not Sasha, cause again, let me add this. So it was Who Will It Be is the main profile picture. Who Will It Be is the main profile picture, and it's the orange hair girl with the boyfriend that we do not know who her boyfriend is. They came as a gift for Misa Hilton. And so again, there another Bratz picture came up with the Megan doll and Sasha doll. And it looked like a JT, and this video has never been released before. I never even seen Nicki Minaj in any of these videos like this. This is whenever City Girls, we were having comparison issues with City Girls. This Megan doll is not City Girls. And Carisha did used to talk to Puffy, and they need JT to help Madison while Sean is in jail, and her brother, is handling his things being for his dad being gone and being absent and what he called for. They asked JT to go pick Madison Starr up, and they have like a big Nicki Minaj video coming out. To me, that's how I released it. So that's whenever because I posted this page, I got rights to release things like this. Madison Starr. Then there's another one. It was JT and the producer for Lil Durk, DJ Bands. Again, this is after the contact list. So you go on there. Mulatto was also on there, and she had a boyfriend in a real visual image, and that's she was looking for DJ Bands also. This is for New York. This is for Impact Hip Hop. Not New York, not America, not LA, hip hop. This is for Impact Hip Hop. With Madison Starr, Nico Brim, those are Justin Combs sisters and brothers. Mulatto, DJ Bands, JT is for New Impact Hip Hop. Again, I tried to bring it down because I don't know, somebody had something real personal to it, and they were taking this from these people. They were stealing something different that these people were looking for, these people were needing. It was now Mulatto's time, and they did not have nothing correctly for Mulatto. They did not understand that I needed to be correctly for Mulatto to come out. Also, they do not have this part. They were having confusions about Mulatto being on Impact and me not being on Impact. I've been totally abused, disrespected. They did not understand that you already got your chance, you got your camera time. Those are the real people. You are not the real people. You are not Impact Hip Hop. That is not Impact Houston whatsoever. It was Impact Hip Hop, Mulatto, Madison Starr, Ayana Fight. So again, like I told you, it's been exhausting as ever. Being that at this point I didn't see any energy from Quincy Brown to bring up to him about Nico Brim, like whatsoever. Those are the two that I was paying attention to, was Nico Brim and Quincy, and there was nothing comparison being able to even get Quincy to help us. So again, I'm not on Impact Hip Hop whatsoever. Miss Erica Badu walking in the wedding, that has to do with King Combs. My seat is with King Combs, not Impact Hip Hop. They needed to remove Madison and Nico. So here we are, people who are not Impact. There was Ocho Cinco daughter. She was at a girl's Valentine's Day at Reginae Carter's house. there was some mismatch going on for the longest with Regina Carter. Again, I had kept Regina Carter personal and close to me. Again, please do not worry about what I look like. This is exhausting. Regina Carter, and there was Ultra Singles' daughter, was going to get a hold of Ayanna Fight for Impact Hip Hop. Like Love and Hip Hop and Growing Up Hip Hop, Impact Hip Hop. And Ultra Single Starter, she was with Regina and the Girls Valentine's Day, and there always been a problem. Asia Carter needs to make it to Impact Hip Hop with Mulatto's sister, and Asia Carter was hanging out with them. And then they were going to get dropped off with streamers. Ultra Single's daughter also needs to get a hold of Andre 3000 to contact to contact Quincy Brown again and Ayanna Fight for Impact Hip Hop. Nico Brim and Ayanna Fight were engaged for Impact Hip Hop at this point now. And that was Ultra Single's daughter. On my main page, there's my mom's pregnant, and there's a lawsuit case that my mother was pregnant, and she got into an altercation with a white lady. She was also pregnant. Both of them got into altercations, and there was a case going on, and it's on my main page. The dad, the Carruthers man, is a football player. Miss Sue, a college football player that is a trusted football college. You cannot trust people college saying that their dad is a football player. It does not fucking matter. You cannot be out here trusting them. They're going to say that their dad is a college football player to be able to be included. That's not a college whatsoever. And that's whenever Miss Sue is a college. Just Kansas State is also a college. And UCLA, Justin Collins went to UCLA. So, again, Ultra Single daughter needs to contact Ayanna Fight. Ultra Single's daughter needs to contact Quincy Brown for Keke Palmer reasonings. Ultra Single's daughter needs to, be very close with Quincy Brown and Keke Palmer. And that's whenever they're gonna get Andre 3000 from Ultra Single's daughter. And then they could handle Impact Hip Hop. Again, Quality Control is known for Impact, where you can get a hold of them. And Diddy is known to, I think he follows them, or they follow Diddy because of him dating Carisha. And I don't know if that's what they've been handling. I don't know what's going on. If they're confused with JT and stuff, they're going to have to get on some Family Matters for Impact. And again, this is all the way back at Impact ATL. So get it pushing and get it moving. Again, I kept Regina Carter personally to me. And like I told you, back in the contact list, Regina Carter is going to be added to my contact list of Rihanna. Rihanna's dad has a hotel mansion life that she lives in. And that's for Regina Carter. Regina Carter and Toya have their own show. And we can handle our lifestyle in Houston. In this process that we were opening, a documentary had came up about not a Zeus show. A documentary came up about. This was a documentary of an investigator. This is a documentary of an investigator that is being looked for again, including the where Impact is coming from. Of families, protective services that knows a lot about it, that have worked it, and collected a lot of paperwork globally. I don't think they had platform to collect the paperwork globally, and that's how they can avoid a lot of problems with children born in 2009 and past 2009. This investigator for Child Protective Services needs to pick up cases like, if CPS has spoken to me before when I was a child in school. Cases of mothers who abused their mothers, who lost their kids, mothers who lost their homes. NBA Youngboy's mother, NBA Youngboy went homeless and he ended up living with his friend that he's very close with. Again, that's in CPS. And so they need to use these people with these family problems. Krayshawn, she said that she was hurt as a child. Blueface baby mama said she was hurt as a baby child. Here's a song with Anna Lee Chopper. She said she was hurt as a child, and she has a lot of school pictures. All of those. Jada Waiter, again, Jasmine Chivas has spoken that have made a bad confession about being hurt as a child. They need to pick up child protection. I have a story. My family. There's somebody that, again, did not get to come outside, and she's like really been hindered because that's like, being outside, knowing people, apartment. I've been living with my mama. I'm 30 years old and I still live with my mother, and I'm being disabled again while people doing things in my house. Again, it was because some girl was in a group chat, and she used to come from like, the east south side and come to a north side school that had events going on, including All-Star Weekend 2013. And she would come in and out where we was like, okay, this is where they live at, regardless if they're staying cool, if they're going out to the sections. And, even if all of us had a different life, some girl that was going to church all the way out to the south side, she had a family since she was little, young, in the beauty salon. And, that's your own life. Doing your beauty salon, that's your own life. The girl has a whole bunch of siblings. That's not nothing. I have money to include all of her and her siblings. I don't have money for it. I have my flights, all globally that I've been taking since I was in high school. I would take flights out to Chicago. I would get money from New York. Again, I have pictures of being in Disney World. I have pictures of having family, also visiting family in Florida. I also, when I was in high school, I visited my godmother's grandkids. She had a quinceañera, and they lived in Florida in a suburban home. And I also was at Disney World. My mom, she has family all over the place. These people go to church every Sunday. They can't take a flight. We had opened it up for me to have friends. And, it wasn't really much available. They're not understanding that you do not have it, so you do not have anything in the first place. Again, with these CBS cases that came up, because virally, people are being very problems. There was Jada Chivas. She came into a lot of thieving situations because she came out that she was born with a lot of cash. And a lot of people didn't understand, when you're born with cash, you're not born with shit. Okay? You cannot say that what you were born with, all you have is $1 for what? You cannot trade it. You're like a merchant on the street willing to give $1 out for a water bottle. That's all the fuck that cash is that Jada Chivas was born with. Again, these children, they were born with cash, and half of it, they could say they had at least an iPad. You could say that they at least got their kid a phone or something. Barely of that situation that they could keep up with, that they need to continue to start things with. So again, NBA Youngboy, he just said that he was having problems with his mother recently. So that told me that things were active with family assault problems and CPS cases. Once again, the interrogator that needs to pick up globally, going to the schools, going to CPS. It was brought up for the schools. What was the bigger cases that the school did not accept? The school that was homeless. These celebrities, detective. I'm not interrogator, a detective. Needs to speak on the documentary, and those who were victims of the abuse, the higher abuse, like mothers exposing their parents, mothers that continue getting in and out of, regardless if you accepted the family member that came with the child, you adopted because of the situation, and you adopted, and you are still a victim. Like, okay. So with NBA Youngboy, his friend 3, he worked 3 jobs, and that's who NBA Youngboy was with. He was not with Sharonda Golden or his sister. He was barely even with his baby brother. 3 is a victim, regardless if he accepted regardless if he accepted NBA YoungBoy. He still was a victim of what Sharonda was taking from 3. Sharonda kept getting on, needed more attention. Again, 3 is me, and Jada, the one that needed attention, is Sharonda. Again, we're still victims. And then there's the detective that needs to go around and pick up those paperwork when they were a child and go through it, file them, and needs to keep up with them to avoid situations from 2009 and even their children that were abused. If there were school fights that had to do with home abuse, the home abuse did not make it, but the school fight did, you're going to need that. And you're going to have to, and when the detective comes around, that's, again, I can't move off of that situation. Like I told you, whatsoever CBS has spoken to me before, the girl is hindering me. She's taking from me because her mother continues to be abusive with her. She continues to come to school to get abused. Because if you talk shit to your kid at home, they're gonna come to school, and that's how the fuck everybody need to talk to them. That's just how it goes. What started this war was HTC. It's called HTC. Please block HTC in every country. It was an Android. India Cox has the same Android. There was another little girl that had 3 brothers, and they will abuse her. She's not a victim whatsoever. And this HTC phone, it looks like the 17 Pro. NBA YoungBoy's sister had it again, and the girl was flicking it up on my iCloud with a HTC, and she ends up getting on punishment, the whole expose and challenge shit. So if you could please turn your attention, pay attention. There's people trying to get through to each other. There's no need to be rude. There's people getting, are innocent to Sharonda Golden's and etc. parents, that are on mothers exposing children. Playlist on YouTube. If you search your name, Mothers Children, I'll put it in a bio with the link. Please be considerate and try to help out and leave a helping hand. We're trying to make it to the children in 2009 to not get included with people like NBA YoungBoy's cases. We do not want them to be in cases like this where there's an NBA YoungBoy going into a 3 home, and that's whenever we can lose NBA YoungBoy. We can lose this case. We can lose a lot of situations. There's even King Von, a serial killer. They can come up as serial killers. Even being fans of the music, they could be considered to the music because of where it comes from in the first place. Was the Family Matters is how the fuck King Von ended up. Even if it was whatever his family matter with his mom is how you ended up a serial killer. That's how NBA YoungBoy ended up aggressive, to be aggressive towards the microphone, to rap and to speak and to tell people what he has going on or how he feels. That's the first way that we can lose NBA YoungBoy. And there's girls like me who mothers exposing them, and they could be serious as hell, trying to go into Nicki Minaj studio and stuff, and on the way to Nicki Minaj studio, the mother exposed them, and the mother whips them and gets clout off of it the same way. And then 10 years later, gonna come and they're gonna need the story out on top of me, and maybe I've been already robbed before, even by Jada Chivis. And even Jada Chivis' story can go out of hand and be included with things that it is kind of true, and it's gonna be more relevant because it caused more problems. Okay, please pay attention.